And good morning, everyone. I'm Ron Steele of News 7 KWWL, and we're here to welcome you to the 15th annual Heroes Among Us award ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us for this first ever virtual event, of course, due to COVID-19. And similar to what we are all embracing for the health and well-being of our neighbors and loved ones, today I am coming to you directly from the KWWL studios in downtown Waterloo. You know, Heroes Among Us is not possible without the support of our generous sponsors. And these include event sponsors this year: Courier Communications, News 7 KWWL, 93.5 The Mix, and Jim's other station here locally, 1650 The Fan. Thank you for all of your support and help. And speaking of Jim Koloff, I'm joined right now by my on-site host. And Jim, we're together again. You're at the Diamond Event Center to help us celebrate this year's Heroes Among Us. Take it away.
Thanks, Ron. I'm Jim Koloff with 93.5 The Mix and 1650 The Fan here at the Diamond Event Center. We are proud to help celebrate our local heroes again this year for the 15th annual Heroes Among Us. Each year, we share with you the stories of our local heroes, and this year's stories are sure to inspire us all to reach higher and help out when needed. Before we hear about this year's heroes, we want to pause and reflect as MercyOne Cedar Falls Medical Center's board member Tim Butker joins us for the invocation.
Thank you very much, Jim. And it really is a joy to have this opportunity today to celebrate these honorees among us who've done these valiant things. And so we want to pause for a moment to acknowledge God's presence here with us. So would you bow with me, please? Heavenly Father, we do pause today for a moment before you to acknowledge your presence here with us. We thank you for your good, sustaining, and loving hand. We also thank you for this great community and state in which we live. We thank you for the freedoms we enjoy in this great country that have been provided for us and to us through the great sacrifice of many who have gone before. Those of us with a sense of faith in you have a great awareness that all of this comes as a gift from your good hand and your loving care. And we thank you for it. We're here today to honor a few among us who have shown great care and courage and initiative in key moments in this life. We thank you today for them, these heroes among us. We also ask that as we honor them this morning, you would encourage and inspire each of us in our lives of faith and service. Give each of us a fresh courage and strength and boldness to continue doing our part in helping making our communities and this world a better and safer place to live. Thank you again for this opportunity today, and especially today, Father, we give you thanks again for the great gift of your Son, Jesus, in whom all things hold together, and in whom is the great offer of forgiveness of sin and hope of everlasting life. It is in his name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Tim. This joint fundraising event benefits the MercyOne Foundations, which in turn supports Cedar Falls and Waterloo Medical Centers. How often are we faced with a choice that will change someone's life? The 15 heroes recognized today were put in that position. They could have chosen to walk away, but instead, they did what was needed to help. This choice transformed these everyday people into our everyday heroes. We are here to recognize and celebrate the actions of them and to hear their inspiring stories. Their concern for others and the environment has a major impact on our community. You will see their stories of compassion, selflessness, and bravery. You will also see the difference they have made in the lives of those around them. All right. Our first Heroes Among Us award is in the healthcare category. The recipients are Jason Fehrbach of Riverside, Jesse Fehrbach of Blairstown, and Natalie Fehrbach of Solon. Presenting the award will be Mary Jo Cavalier of MercyOne-Northeast, Iowa. These three are united as brother, sister, and sister-in-law. They all have a common professional calling in the healthcare field, one as a respiratory therapist and two registered nurses. In October of 2019, Jason, Jesse, and Natalie worked cohesively together to save one of their own.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us healthcare category recipients, Jason Feuerbach, Jesse Feuerbach, and Natalie Feuerbach.
Big family, right? A lot of moving parts, a lot of people going in different directions. It takes a lot to get us all together. We're very close. Jenny's kind of the ringleader.
She's my best friend. I've always looked up to her. She's kind of the mother hen of us. Family pictures that day was her.
The idea was, surprise my mom for Christmas. Jenny had kind of she said she had felt weird a few times. Her husband Chris had said, why don't you sit down? I kind of looked at her, just kind of pale in the face and stuff, but I kind of just, anyways, I kind of turned my back and I just hear a thud, which was Jenny hitting the ground.
We were just getting there, and as we're walking down towards them, I just hear she's having a seizure.
So I ran over and I had my dress on and tights, and I was down on the ground and rolling her onto her side so she didn't aspirate, because at that time she was seizing.
She's biting her tongue pretty good, and
her lips started to get gray and her respirations started to slow, and so that's a concern.
So I gave her some mouth-to-mouth rescue breathing. Then at some point again, it progressed.
Another person ran over, and she was a nurse as well from the university. And I said, "Do you feel a pulse?" And she said, "No, I don't feel a pulse." I said, "I don't feel a pulse now either." And I said, "Jason, do you feel a pulse?"
And I checked her carotid, and I couldn't feel one. Probably one of the scarier things I've encountered. I mean, it looked like life had escaped her at that point.
So then Jason started compressions, and the kids were crying, and we did compressions for quite a while.
I don't know how many rounds. I know push hard, push fast. That's what I was doing.
seeing Jason do CPR on her, I think that's when it kind of hit me, and looking at her husband and looking at her kids and our kids, and it was really hard.
I wasn't feeling a pulse for a while. I don't know how long it was, a couple minutes. And then I felt a pulse. I said, "I feel a pulse."
At some point, we had a pulse. Natalie said we had a pulse.
Kind of thready and slow, and then it started getting stronger, and then she started coming out of it a little bit.
She started to get better color. This seizure was not near severe.
He's pretty amazing. He jumped in as soon as somebody said she's having a seizure. I mean, he was already right there.
You do what you have to do and can do it. But yeah, I mean, everybody did a great job.
Well, we couldn't have done it without everybody working together. It's kind of pulled everyone together, and we're closer, I would say.
I definitely think God was watching us, watching her, knowing that we were all going to be there. And I mean, it was just pretty miraculous that a woman walking her dog stops to help, and she ended up being a cardiac nurse at the university. I mean, it was just remarkable. Pretty amazing to see.
Jason Feuerbach, Jesse Feuerbach, and Natalie Feuerbach, your 2019 Healthcare Heroes Among Us.
On behalf of Mercy One, I want to say congratulations, and we are so very honored. What a wonderful representation of family, which we feel like is part of our organization. You certainly are family, and we're able to save one of your own. I can't help but hardly speak from watching the impact that you had on your sister's life. So I also think it's really awesome that she's here with us today to be able to celebrate with you. And because of your actions, she's here with you, and your family continues on. So again, congratulations. You are truly healthcare heroes for one of your own. Congratulations.
Our second Heroes Among Us award this morning is in the workplace category. The recipients are Steve Adams of Cedar Falls, Mary Jones of Waterloo, and Deb C. of Waterloo. To present the award will be chaplains Rick Rusted and Mary Robinson from Tyson Fresh Meats. Steve, Mary, and Deb have at least three things in common: working for Tyson Fresh Meat, spending time with their grandchildren, and viewing their own parents as their heroes. Now they will add a fourth, a life-altering event. What started as a regular workday became an unforgettable day of their lives.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us Workplace Category recipients, Steve Adams, Mary Jones, and Deb C.
Dale works for me. He's one of my workers, and we were up in the maintenance training doing some work up there. And all of a sudden, he started leaning over some boxes and stuff that was up against the wall. And one of my team members alerted it to me that he was having some problems. We didn't know what was going on, so I told him, grab him and let's put him, we need to get him down. I need to get a hold of the nurses and stuff.
Steve came into our office and said, we have a team member down. And I went up there and he literally was down. He was purple and he was out. So we started the CPR process.
By the time I got up there, I had the AED and we just went to town on him.
We called the 911 to get out there. And then, I was just trying to clear out the room a little bit because there were some people in there and whatever I could do for Mary and Deb. They were busy working on him. Mary was giving him chest compressions and stuff, and Deb was getting him his breaths and stuff. And Mary just said, hey, can you want to do chest compressions? I said, I'm fine with that, And so I just started giving him chest compressions.
We do annual training for CPR, AED, and then we go through the manual skills. Having lay people know how to start the CPR before the nurses get there is imperative. Just clearing the airway and getting things ready so we can hook the AED up and get going on him is it's life-saving.
She just kind of kept asking me, are you okay? Can you continue on? And I was fine. Again, the adrenaline was kind of kicking in, and I just kind of wanted to, do my part,
Dale was still unconscious when he got to the hospital, and it wasn't actually relayed what had actually happened to him. So when I talked to the critical care nurse and the doctor up there, they actually changed the protocol to a cardiac issue, and that totally changed the treatment that he got. And then when I went back up there, he was on the heart floor. And believe me, that was an emotional thing when I got to see him talking. And
Dale's worked for me for, about 8 years now, and I've known his family a little bit and stuff. Just being able to see them again and them having their dad around was, just a good feeling.
I'm grateful and thankful that Mary and Steve and I were able to assist and work together as a team and revive him.
Well, I'm proud of myself. So, it's just a nice feeling.
Steve Adams, Mary Jones, and Deb C., your 2019 Workplace Heroes Among Us.
On behalf of Tyson Foods, Tyson Fresh Meats, Mary, Steve, and Deb, we could not be more proud to be able to be here to present this honor. Actually, this brought tears to my eyes as I thought back to that day, and I saw the familiar people as we recognized you at the plant. There are 10 traits of successful, heroic people and leaders, and I'm not going to go through all 10, but one of the things is courage, one of them, and the other one is passion. And your passion really came through. Integrity, honesty, confidence, patience, and selflessness. That really came through. And just to be able to act in the moment without even thinking about you, but thinking about Dale. So we are just so proud of you, so happy, so honored on behalf of Chaplain Services, on behalf of Tyson team members. We are not surprised because we know you, we work with you. You guys are incredible, you are awesome. And so you do there in that moment what you do every day for us. And we are most dedicated and most grateful to have you with us. And thank you very much.
I have never seen in 30 years of ministry a more amazing miracle, a medical miracle, as I saw in Dale's life from the day that this crisis event happened to the days afterward, going to visit him in the hospital. My jaw just dropped, and when I saw him about a week later, just sitting up, just talking with me, going basically from a dead man to back to work. And it was true that you cleared the room out, Steve, but that day I saw all kinds of commotion, and I was on the lower level. I went straight upstairs, and I came in, and I saw the three of you, Mary and Deb and Steve, doing what you do with focus and skill and professionalism to save a team member's life. And I just stood there and I said, what can I do? And I realized what I could do at that moment was pray. So I stood there and I watched all three of you work on Dale to save his life, and I just prayed. And I'm so thankful that I could witness your action, your dedication, and your professionalism. And I think of the scripture that says in Ecclesiastes that two are better than one. If one falls down, the other can lift them up. But a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And you are that cord of 3 strands. Thank you.
Another inspiring story. Thank you to Tyson Fresh Meats. The Heroes Among Us Public Safety Category recipients are Chris Kopp of Parkersburg, Joe Schmidt of Waterloo, and Nick Smith and John Zalondek of Cedar Falls. To present the award will be Megan Redman of DePaco Community Credit Union and Melissa Tierney of New Aldea Lifescapes. Responding to emergencies, maintaining safety, and the security of citizens in their communities are daily tasks for these heroes. Protection of others is #1 priority for Chris, Joe, Nick, and John. This discipline and dedication made all the difference in the Lockard family's world.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us Public Safety Category recipients, Chris Kopp, Joe Schmidt, Nick Smith, and John Zalondek.
This came in as a residential fire with multiple reports that the house was fully engulfed. And then they said there's people trapped inside.
Immediately we're both, on high alert. Like this is a real deal. We need to get there quick because there's reports of, people being trapped inside, flames shooting out the front door. And, I was driving the fire engine. You want to get there obviously as quick as you can, but safely as well too. So you're kind of maybe pushing the limits a little bit of the truck. And I think at one time John had said that we were going to end up in the inside of the building of the Godfather's Pizza at First and Hudson, because I was kind of rounding the corner a little quick, but we made it out there, we made it safe.
We pulled up, the house was fully engulfed, the flames were coming out the front window, front door. Kept getting additional reports from dispatch. One was still trapped in there, he was handicapped and would have to be carried out from the 2nd floor.
Seeing it for the first time on that incident, it was just like, oh man, this is huge. I mean, this is going to be a huge undertaking. His main concern, my main concern was getting him inside and trying to locate this trapped person.
I went in, tried to make it up through the living room. I made it up to the 2nd floor landing, but with the heat and the smoke, I couldn't make it any further that way. And the ceiling was starting to deteriorate and fall down. So then I came back out the front door. The brother and the neighbor were fairly upset with me that I didn't come out with Johnny, but I told him I had to find a secondary way in to his room. So we went around the side of the garage. They told me which window it was. Chris brought me a ladder, jumped up the ladder, went up.
Usually fire calls, we listen for a little bit, like, okay. The way dispatch made sound with the flames showing, people there, we took off and we saw a ladder up on the side of the house. I think I saw John up there on the roof breaking glass.
Glass breaks, so I'm like, okay, he's at least in the window. And then I saw Deputy Schmidt and Deputy Smith running up to the scene at that time. I'm like, hey, John's up inside grabbing this guy. He's going to need help getting him back down. So, I mean, it was just perfect timing that they were running up at that time.
Stuck my head around the window and just got blasted with smoke. There had been no way that anybody else was going in there. You would have made it through 10 steps without dropping.
Went in the room, found Johnny in there. To me, it felt like he was really happy to see me. I think we were both happy to see each other, actually. And then I scooped him up and got him out as fast as possible. That's when I saw Deputy Schmidt, and I definitely didn't expect to see him up there. But it was nice. I handed him off to him, crawled out, and then we brought him down the ladder.
Hearing him say, you know, I got him out, or we got him out, and they're bringing him down the ladder, was just, I mean, it was just like a weight got lifted off your shoulders, and it was just awesome.
And so we went in later to see if I could take a hose line upstairs and put out the fire in the attic. And when we're walking out, I turned and saw that painting on this wall. And so everything's charred and burned and melted. And this painting looked like it was in a force field, like a shield was over it. And I'm like, I gotta take that outside. Just thinking of some expensive painting, save it for the residents. So I took it out, sat it out front. So Ken and Amy, their neighbor, is a painter. She's from Russia. In Russia, they have a lot of fires. So she made that painting for him and said, may this always protect your family, and wrote it on the back of it, and then it hung up in their living room. And then Ken and Amy showed up, and he saw that painting sitting out front, and it blew his mind. How did that get outside? And I don't know, it was crazy.
Chris Kopp, Joe Schmidt, Nick Smith, and John Zalondek, your 2019 Public Safety Heroes Among Us.
Chris, Joe, Nick, and John. On behalf of DuPaco, we want to thank you for your service on November 22nd and every day you serve. Together as a team, you answered the call and courageously saved a child's life. The Cedar Valley is grateful you are willing to go above and beyond to help protect our community that you serve. Congratulations, and you guys are a true hero.
Well, good morning. I'm Melissa Tierney with New Aldea Lifescapes. And on behalf of everyone at New Aldea, we really are honored to co-sponsor with DuPaco the Public Safety Award for Heroes Among Us. It's very special to us. We extend our greetings and love to the Lockard family. The professionalism and courageous acts that you men provided that day really should not be taken for granted. You saved Jonathan's life. You responded. And I think it reminds us just how fortunate we are to be living in the Cedar Valley, to have professionals who are ready to respond and to serve our community every day, no matter the call to action. Thank you very much for your service, and congratulations on a job very well done.
Thank you to all our public safety officers, especially those four honored today. The next award will be the Heroes Among Us Good Samaritan Adult category. The recipient is Mike Keebler of Cedar Falls. Presenting the award will be Jerry Harris of Western Home Communities. Keebler, when he is not busy working at Zanotti Armor, he enjoys attending all of his grandkids' activities, as well as golfing, fishing, and working on projects in his shop. His volunteer list includes the United Way, Brimwood Home for Boys, and the Christmas Food Box Project, to name a few. Keebler's service for others took a true test the afternoon of April 9th of 2019 when he saw smoke coming from a house in Waterloo.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us Good Samaritan Adult category recipient, Mike Keebler of Cedar Falls.
Yeah, I was heading over to a warehouse we have on the east side. Glanced off to my right and I could see some pretty good amount of smoke coming from an older two-story house. You know, no sirens, no lights, not even a neighbor or bystander walking around. So I pulled over quickly off the highway, jumped over the curb. Nobody answered, getting ready to kind of break the glass on the storm door, and a woman opened the door, and clearly she knew there was a fire. She was upset, and she was saying something like, Jim's upstairs. And I'm like, okay, you know, you need to get out. Is there anybody else? Are there any pets? No, it's just Jim. And so I kind of directed her to the door, and I ran inside and started running around looking for the stairs. And I couldn't find anything. I'm opening closet doors and running around. Well, I come back in the living room, and she's back inside, and she says, no, the stairs are outside. And she said, you need to go out the front and around the side. I mean, she's deserves as much credit as anybody in this, because otherwise I'd have been running around, probably never would have been able to get up. You know, it would have taken a lot longer to know that. First time I ran up to the door, you know, yelling, anybody, the smoke it was pretty thick. So it kind of got to me. I backed off, went back up, this time just kind of, you know, held my sweatshirt over my face, yelling again, and then I met somebody coming out of the smoke. He was kind of bloody, and I don't know if it was burn on his face, and obviously shook up and hurt a little bit, but had his arm around me and let me help him down. He very well could have made it down by himself, but he wasn't in the best shape, so kind of helped him down the stairs, got him out away from the house in the yard, sat him down. You know, once we got him out, you know, the fire department showed up, and you know, they kind of had things under control. I didn't need any reason to stick around. My parents always taught me to help others and help your neighbor, and it just seems like it's automatic. I'm not going to do something stupid, but you know, I was going to find a way, or if there was somebody there that we could help. Crazy as it sounds, I think, you know, maybe God puts you in positions like that to help. I think anybody in my situation would have done the same thing.
Mike Keebler, your 2019 Good Samaritan Adult Heroes Among Us.
Good morning. I'm Jerry Harris, Western Home Communities, and we are pleased to sponsor the Good Samaritan Adult Hero Award this year for our Heroes Among Us. Mike is unable to be here today, join us this morning. However, recently he received this award outside his workplace. Having known Mike for the last several years, absolutely know that he was in the right place at the right time to take care of this situation. And those are the kinds of heroes that are in Northeast Iowa. And I can tell you that if Mike were in that situation, he'd do it over and over and over again. We were blessed. As Mike said on the video, it was a God thing that day for him to be able to save some lives. And again, he would do that. And so we congratulate Mike on this year for this 2019 Good Samaritan Adult Heroes Among Us Award. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. The Heroes Among Us Award recipient for the Good Samaritan Youth category is Gabby Hanks of Cedar Falls. Wells Fargo Bank is sponsoring the award, however, they cannot be in attendance today. Hanks, an 8th grader at Holmes Junior High in Cedar Falls, volunteers for the St. Jude's Dance Marathon, enjoys reading and running, but her true passions are playing basketball and softball. On April 30th of last year, Hanks used her athleticism to save her younger brother's life.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us Good Samaritan Youth category recipient, Gabby Hanks of Cedar Falls.
We were in Russellville, Kentucky for my birthday, and my mom had to go and get gas in her car, and the people we were staying with, Aubrey, had to get dog food, and her parents had lived right next door, so we were comfortable staying home alone. My brother and I had just gotten done eating lunch, and we had soup, and the dog, his name was Cy, had gone and put his paws up on the counter and was trying to eat Braden's leftover soup. And so Braden walked out of our bedroom and just in a calm voice said, "Cy, no." And then when he was walking back into our bedroom, Cy just came and it got his finger first and then somehow got him onto the ground. Was on top of him, biting his arm. And then I heard Braden scream, so then I turned around. When I saw Braden on the ground, Cy was on top of him and biting his arm right here. So then my instinct was just to grab him and pull him into our room and then close the door. When I got him in, I closed the doors and just stood there and kept him closed because it didn't have a lock. Then I told Braden to grabbed 2 towels. I thought he was kidding when he said that his finger was gone. And then when I looked over, I could see like his bone, like the white part of his bone. And I was just like, it was nasty. But then his arm, the flesh was still on it, was just partly ripped off. So then I grabbed a towel for him that was hanging and put the flesh back on where it was and just told him to hold it there, and then did the same thing to his finger. I was like, my knee was like shaking the entire time, but I wasn't like crying. I was just still in shock that he did that. And then Aubrey's dad, Chris, had came 3 minutes later and picked us up and took us to the hospital. I watched Chicago PD and Chicago Med, so it helped to know that. It just like all happened so fast. I don't know why I stayed that calm because I was pretty freaked out, but I guess I just was.
Gabby Hanks, your 2019 Good Samaritan Youth Heroes Among Us.
Well, as previously mentioned, Wells Fargo Bank Representative Phil Nash, Market President and Commercial Relationship Manager, was not able to be here, but Phil asked that we share with you the following. Gabby, on behalf of Wells Fargo and the Cedar Valley, we want to thank you for being so brave. Too often a person doesn't act to do the right thing because of fear holding them back. You showed true courage, and we are all very proud to have you growing up in the Cedar Valley. Congratulations and well-deserved. Your 2019 Good Samaritan Youth category Heroes Among Us, Gabby Hanks, congratulations. At this time, we want to take a short break and welcome Tony Thompson to the stage. Tony Thompson, Black Hawk County Sheriff and MercyOne-Waterloo Foundation board member, is going to award some lucky person who had purchased a ticket to the originally scheduled March event with a classic hotel package to the Isle Casino Hotel in Waterloo, which includes an overnight stay in a deluxe room and breakfast for 2 at Brew Brothers.
Obviously, we are very disappointed we weren't able to get together in person this year, but we are thankful for the outstanding job both Jim and everyone else has done. We're happy to honor all of our heroes, and we're certainly pleased to recognize our sponsor of this raffle drawing, the Isle of Capri Hotel and Casino here in Waterloo. It's my pleasure to recognize Diane Zalondek as this year's winner of that luxury hotel package.
You know, over the last 14 years, this event has raised nearly $400,000. This money goes toward the MercyOne Foundations of Cedar Falls and Waterloo to support important equipment and programming at MercyOne facilities all across Northeast Iowa. This year's dollars, by the way, will be directed to MercyOne-Northeast Iowa's COVID-19 Relief Fund. So once again, thank you for all of your support of MercyOne Waterloo Medical Center and MercyOne Cedar Falls Medical Center. Now we need to take a moment to thank the paid and volunteer staff who make this event a success year after year. A tremendous amount of planning goes into this annual event, and it certainly would not be possible without the support of so many. On behalf of the Foundation's Board of Trustees and all the sponsors, thank you again for your dedication and service to making this event happen every year. Jim, let's send it back to you right now because we are now down to the final 3 awards. Take it away.
Ron, we continue with the Heroes Among Us Community Service category. The recipient is Lindsey Ivey of Janesville. Nagel Signs is sponsoring this award, however, is not able to be in attendance today. Ivey, an at-home daycare provider, serves as the vice president of the Janesville School Board. In addition, she volunteers her time in many community events, including Janesville Days, church dinners, and fundraisers. She put her passion of helping others to the test in the spring of 2019 by creating a community pantry in her hometown of Janesville.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us Community Service category recipient, Lindsey Ivey of Janesville.
A number of years ago, I heard about a couple families that were living out of their car, and that kind of shocked me. I didn't think a small community like Janesville had any something like that. And so I just kind of had the idea floating around in my head for years on, what could be done, what I could do. And a couple months before school got out last year, I heard about another family in Janesville that had some kids that maybe weren't getting enough to eat. And I was like, okay, no time better than now. And so I just kind of started brainstorming on where to even just have a basket of food or snacks out. And we have like a Janesville community Facebook page. I put it out there and I had a ton of feedback, a ton of people let me know what we can do to help. And so I got a few donations and I went out and went grocery shopping and ended up finding a spot in the City Hall library entryway that I could just put a couple shelves on. And probably September or October, I started noticing that stuff was gone. It's kind of a catch-22. I mean, I'm glad people are using it, sad that they have to, but I'm glad that I could provide it for them. The donations have kept coming in, monetary donations, food donations, clothes, everything. So I can't say I was surprised, but it still, makes my heart explode that, people are just willing to do whatever they can to help. Good problem to have. I've kind of run out of space. I've been talking with the city and we're working out putting some more shelves up so I can offer more things in that area. Right now we're working on getting the pantry accessible 24/7. I want people to feel comfortable using the pantry that need it. I don't want them to not use it because they're afraid to be seen using it. So I would love to have a couple more spots in town that maybe are accessible, not right on Main Street. I wish we didn't need it, but it's, I think, unavoidable. I think people fall on tough times, and when I was little, we went through tough times and we, leaned on family, and I always was surrounded by family that was willing to help. And I don't think everyone has that, and I know you can't always do it on your own, and I've been there, so I think that's just what gives me that perspective. I'm happy to be able to help in any way I can.
Lindsey, Ivey, your 2019 Community Service Heroes Among Us.
As previously mentioned, Nagel Signs representative Tom Nagel, operations director, is not able to be here. Tom has asked that we share with you the following. Lindsey, Nagel Signs Incorporated would like to thank you for your efforts in addressing food insecurity issues in your community of Janesville. Your efforts to make food accessible to the community are commendable, and I can only assume that the utilization of the pantry has only increased due to the economic impact of the current COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for being the driving force to rally members of your community to support other members of the community in need. Congratulations, Lindsey, Ivey, your 2019 Community Service Heroes Among Us. Our 7th Heroes Among Us award this morning is in the environmental category. The recipient is Clark Porter of Waterloo. Presenting the award will be Mike Rahans of Strategic Imaging. Porter enjoys reading, hiking, cycling, puttering on his farm, and spending time with his family and friends. Wanting the very best future for his family and friends, Porter organized and established the Black Hawk Creek Water and Soil Coalition to invest in our land as we do our children.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us environmental category recipient, Clark Porter of Waterloo.
As long as I can remember, I think ever since I was a little kid, I've just always been interested in nature, like to spend my time outdoors. I just always wanted to stay in touch with it, I guess. I always want to have one foot planted in the fields or woods or whatever. I first became interested in soil health and in the biology of the soil and how unique that ecosystem is. I mean, it's as diverse as a coral reef, and just as delicate in many ways, and just as productive if we can harness that and not damage it. And that got me to thinking about cover crops and other sorts of interventions I could do to try to rebuild our soil I've always been interested in the water. I canoed and paddled a good deal of my life, spent a lot of time along Blackhawk Creek when I was a kid growing up, just floating down the stream in a canoe or hiking around, riding horses through the area. I read too about Blackhawk Creek being an impaired stream, according to the Department of Natural Resources. So I started doing some things on my own farm in terms of saturated buffers and other things to try to filter the tile water, but also started to get involved in trying to organize a community group around Blackhawk Creek, and kind of snowballed and began working in that area on a volunteer basis and started a group, Blackhawk Creek Water and Soil Coalition, and then we got licensed as a nonprofit for this in the state. Yeah, I work with farmers and conservation efforts and soil health and water health. Ultimately, what I hope is that people begin to view the land as a community to which we belong. I'm quoting Aldo Leopold there, but you know, all of us share in it, all of us eat, all of us live on the land, all of us are impacted by decisions that we make about agriculture, whether we're farming or not. At some point or other, we have to invest in our land and our legacy as well. Land isn't merely a commodity. It's something that we invest in, just as we might invest in the futures of our children. And if we invest in the land, we are investing in the future of our children. And same with water. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to be conscious of it and do something. And some people are in a position to do more. And all of us are in a position to take some step.
Clark Porter, your 2019 Environmental Heroes Among Us.
Hi, I'm Mike Rayhans, and I'm the Business Development Manager for Strategic Imaging. And we are so happy to be able to present the 2019 Environmental Heroes Among Us Award to Clark Porter. And from all of us at SI and all of us here, Clark, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for your tireless efforts on educating and advocating for soil conservation. It is so crucial, and we really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike, and Strategic Imaging for your sponsorship, and congratulations, Clark. Our final recipient of the 2019 Heroes Among Us Award ceremony from the category of military is Yolando Loveless of Waterloo. Presenting the award will be Morgan Lastly of Sawyer Law Group. Yolando Loveless is a retired U.S. Navy Chief Warrant Officer 4. After serving 30 years, he returned to his hometown and currently serves as the Black Hawk County Veterans Affairs Executive Director. Love for family brought him and his wife back to Waterloo, and his passion for serving veterans and community is an inspiration for us all.
Your 2019 Heroes Among Us military category recipient, Yolando Loveless of Waterloo.
I went in the Navy in 1984. Down in Orlando, Florida, of all places, is where I went to boot camp. I spent my entire adult life serving the country. When I was here, when I was as a youth, I came up in a church, and my mom and dad and my grandmother and them, they always had a sense of serving others. And so when I see someone struggling, I try to do what I can for them. And it doesn't need to be a veteran, but when someone is out there and they need help, take care of that person. And so there's a couple examples. There's a World War II veteran who is in his 90s that needed additional assistance, needed some help. He's out living on his own. So I just kind of took that on as my task of just checking on Mr. Scogins from time to time, buying him groceries, making sure that he's well off, giving him rides when he needs to go to the medical center, or if he just wants to go to church or something like that. Those are the things, I guess, that we're here for, is we got to learn how to give back. And that's what I just really want to show the community, is that a veteran can transition back to being a civilian, but also now start to show some onus in how to give back, how to serve. You serve the country, now let's serve the community. And that's kind of like the focus that I wake up with every day, is how can I change a veteran's life? One of the things that I take on is those veterans, they'll come and they'll open up and they'll tell you their stories. They're the reason why I'm here and I was able to do what I could do. to talk about the trials and tribulations that they went through while they served, just gives you that sense of appreciation of just how good this country is and the resources that we have and that we value. And so it gives me a sense of pride when, especially when we do, let's say, a compensation package for that veteran, and it comes back approved. That residual income is there for the rest of their lives, tax-free. We just changed that family's lives. And so it gives me a great deal of satisfaction to help a veteran in need, because there's some people out there that are hurting, there's some people out there that are isolated, and if we just give just a little bit of servitude and have a little bit of humility, let people see Christ in you, it'll go a long way. I keep telling people I'm living my best life now, and that's after the 30 years of service.
Yolando Loveless, your 2019 Military Heroes Among Us.
My name is Morgan Lastly. I'm attorney manager at the Cedar Law Group. We're a small law firm here in Waterloo that does default services in about 20 states. Mr. Loveless, as I was reading your biography, I was touched by the story of you going and buying a sledgehammer and taking care of business for a veteran who needed a ramp removed from his house. On behalf of the Cedar Law Group and the numerous veterans and others whose lives you've touched, and the people of the Cedar Valley, I express profound gratitude for your selfless service in the Navy and beyond. Stories like these of quiet dedication, taking things into your own hands to bless the lives of others, makes you a hero. Congratulations.
Thank you to the Cedar Law Group, and congratulations, Yolando, and thank you for choosing to come back to Waterloo, your hometown. At this time, we welcome the General Manager and Vice President of Sales to the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier, David Adams, to the stage.
I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you very much to MercyOne for hosting such a great event. Again, David Adams with Courier and Courier Communications. I want to say on behalf of myself as well as our organization, thank you to all that are represented here. You are true heroes. Thank you to those that can't be here. They're also heroes. Thank you for what you do in our community. Thank you for your service in the military. Thank you for standing up for our communities. I just want to express gratitude to those that have put this event on, as well as those that are the recipients. It's my unique pleasure to also introduce Northeast Iowa Vice President of Operations Ryan Meyer of MercyOne.
Thanks, Dave. And on behalf of MercyOne, we are honored to recognize and congratulate the heroes that you saw, the stories today. Just incredible stories, and the way they impacted lives in our communities will not be forgotten. Obviously, we're thrilled to host this event in any way we could. After the course of the past 5 months, it's definitely changed the lives of many, and we've seen countless stories of heroes within the walls of MercyOne as well. The way that the colleagues have gone above and beyond to care for the patients, the way our colleagues have made sure the facilities are running at an appropriate manner to take care of those patients and help the community navigate the healthcare system during this time. So thank you to all of our colleagues for the past 5 months of selfless dedication as well. You're true heroes with these fellows. I also like to recognize all the community members that have stepped up and helped not just MercyOne, but other businesses and families across the community during the pandemic. Walking into the Diamond Event Center today, seeing a sign out there recognizing their heroes certainly is not forgotten, not just the past 5 months, but every day we walk around here in the community. Just can't thank everybody enough for stepping up and helping each other. Truly one community coming together. The Cedar Valley's never been stronger, so thank you so much. And once again, just congratulate everybody on their great stories and impact and improving the lives of others, so thank you.
Ryan, thank you so much. And Jim Koloff, this has truly been another amazing year of great hero stories, and what a year to be celebrating those achievements. The MercyOne Cedar Falls Foundation and MercyOne Waterloo Foundation thank all sponsors once again, including Courier Communications, News 7 KWWL, 93.5 The Mix, and 1650 The Fan, along with the tremendous production team headed by Denny Bowman, Cedar Falls Channel 15. They do an amazing job, and thank them so much in helping us recognize our heroes.
Heroes Among Us is always accepting nominations. Log on to MercyOne.org for details. Well, we hope you enjoyed your time participating in our virtual Heroes Among Us ceremony. Hope to see you all in person in 2021 when we'll honor our 2020 heroes. Thank you and have a great day.